Yesterday, we heard major breaking news that UFC's Dana White would be joining the board of Meta. And we knew right away this was a massive shift from the political narrative machine that we had seen over the past decade, especially with the Donald Trump victory. Dana White joining Meta means that censorship ain't going to be lasting long. And this morning, Mark Zuckerberg put out a video where he basically said, and I'm going to go right for the meat and potatoes here, the U.S. government basically made them censor people. Well, I'll say this. He's going to be getting rid of the fact checker program in favor of community notes, which is a good thing. They're going to end the restrictions on certain political content and on civic content in general. All good things, which may actually help restore Facebook, which is basically dead at this point. Everyone in media and advertising knows it. Too little too late there, brother. The U.S. government bent you over the knee and whip-cracked you on the back, and you destroyed your platform. But I'll say this. It's good that it's happening. It really, really is. And I'm excited to see it. But maybe too little too late. I'm reminded, my friends, of the film Dogma. Have you guys ever seen that movie? It's a Kevin Smith film from like 1999. And Jason Lee plays a character named Azrael, who's a demon. And he is upset because when the war between heaven and hell erupted, he stood on the sidelines. He was amused. He had no place in battle. And I'm reminded of this. The sit back, wait and see who wins because I don't want to be involved and have no convictions method. Sure. Elon Musk bought X because they censored, well, not just because they censored Babylon Bee, but largely because Babylon Bee got censored. Elon was like, this is ridiculous. Of course, Elon also has a desire for the everything app. He wanted X. Buying up 300 million users made a lot of sense, so he made the move. He made the play. Well, Elon, although he did not immediately go full hardcore free speech, did bring back many users, did improve the platform. And what did we see? The federal government all of a sudden has these SEC, FTC investigations into Elon's companies. A judge just says, we're blocking your pay package for Tesla, despite the fact the shareholders twice voted for him to get paid. I being one of them. I have a decently small a share of Tesla stock. And, monetarily, it's not insignificant, but it's not like anything massive. And I was asked to vote, and I voted Elon Musk should get his pay because I want the CEO leading this company to be incentivized. I'm not concerned about how much money he's getting. I want Tesla stock to go up. And I got denied. The shareholders voted. They said, no, we want Elon to get paid for this. And a judge twice said no. For what reason? Some guy with a handful of shares? There's no way you're convincing me it's anything other than government interference because Elon Musk refused to bend the knee. As for Mr. Zuckerberg, that dude bent the knee so fast. So while in this video release, he does say the U.S. government is pressuring us, we're going to work with the Trump admin, and we're going to fight for freedom, all really incredible stuff. Zuckerberg's not showing himself to be a strong individual. Perhaps savvy, business-wise. And I'm glad to see it. And maybe, his newfound love of UFC, and he's been training BJJ, and maybe he's getting that testosterone up. Maybe he's finally figuring out where his pair really went, if he ever had one. And now he's making moves. But look, it's the safe play right now. In fact, I got to be honest, it's actually the kind of cowardly play. If Zuckerberg actually ever supported the Democrat narrative machine, then when Trump came in, if he want to have balls, he'd say, screw you, Trump. I ain't going to bend the knee for you. But clearly, fair weather friends, we call it. The wind blows, and Mark Zuckerberg says, oh, me, oh, my, oh. But you know what? I'm not going to rag on the Zuck. I'll criticize him for that, but then I'll just say, let's take the victory where we can and utilize this opportunity to maximize a narrative that promotes, meritocracy, the real American dream, strong traditional values. And I'm not saying all the bad stuff. The liberals are going to cry and complain. I'm saying the good stuff. Christmas morning, apple pie, baseball. Come on. Things this country used to be about. So I'm for it. I'm super excited to see Dana White on the board. This gives me confidence because even if Zuckerberg is a smarmy dude, I got to give him this. He's got two people. He's got Kaplan and he's got Dana White joining. And with this move, it's going to restrict government intervention in a similar way if Trump gets out of office. It's not perfect, but I'm glad to see that we're here. Let's jump into this news, though. We'll play this video for you. Before we do, my friends, head over to castbrew.com and buy Cast Brew coffee. Take a look at this. 2 weeks till Christmas. Phil's Holiday Blend gingerbread coffee. In fact, it is 2 weeks from Christmas, but it's still good. And it's going to be a limited run, so make sure you pick up your bag with Phil Labonte of All That Remains. Dressed as Santa Claus while you can. Of course, we've got Alex Stein's Primetime Grind, 2 times caffeine. I don't know that man needs many more caffeine, but we've also got Stand Your Grounds. We've got Colombian Whole Bean. We got Ian's Graphene Dream back in stock, ladies and gentlemen. And this is actually kind of crazy because as much as people complain about Ian, and some people really love him, his coffee sells gangbusters. He sold 5,350 bags, and I think we're already half sold out of his latest run. People really love Ian's Graphene Dream. He's a coffee guy. There you go. But also, go to timcast.com, click Join Us, become a member, because we need your support. You as a member, you make all of this possible. The entire time, we have been fighting against censorship, political censorship, and fake news from the corporate press. We have only won this battle because of people like you supporting websites like timcast.com and shows like this, as well as many others. Steven Crowder, for instance, Viva Fry, big fans of those guys. I'll always shout them out. There have been many people who have stood up to the narrative machine and taken great risk to do it. Wait, aren't they both Canadian? Anyway, it's not just about timcast.com, but when you become a member, you'll get access to our Discord server. And the reason why we built this, if they ban us, if they try to shut us down, which it's going the other direction, I might add. But when they do, we want to build these communities so that you guys can stay connected. It's another reason why Cast Brew is launching franchising. It's not about making $1 billion empire. That'd be nice. No, it's about creating physical spaces because the founding fathers organized a revolution in bars and pubs. Places where we can gather and share ideas because the censorship machine will stop you from speaking. So that's the plan, man. If you want to join that movement, join that mission, go to timcast.com, click Join Us, become a member, and we've got some big moves coming up. Some big moves. A lot of big moves. But let's do this. Here's the story first, and we'll jump into the Dana White stuff. I mean, the news is basically that, right? But Mark Zuckerberg himself has issued this video. And, I got to be honest. I don't care to actually hear what this man has to say, but the truth is what he says is so dang important. We got to play it. It's 5 minutes. I think the most important thing to understand is that he breaks down how the U.S. government basically made Facebook and Meta censor people because they are evil. Well, he didn't say this, but I'll say it. Because they don't believe in America. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in the American people. They are smarmy, evil people who want power for themselves. And you can just hear it right from Zuckerberg's own face.
Hey, everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today.
Sure you do.
But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US.
Good.
After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth.
No, you didn't.
But the fact checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created.
He knew this the whole time. We all knew this the whole time. It took a layman only one day of looking at how the fact checkers were censoring all of this news to realize it was a broken system. And I'm going to give this. Old Zuckerberg. Look, man, I don't trust the guy as far as I can throw him. The dude, the story of social media censorship emerged when it became clear. Whistleblowers helped make it clear that the Facebook trending news tab was intentionally removing conservative stories. Or I should say, stories that emerged from conservative sources were being deleted from the trending tab because these people are evil cultists. And Zuckerberg knew the whole time. So, bro, too little, too late, I guess. I'm happy that you're finally turning it around. Maybe we can get back to using your platform. You know, let me throw this in there, guys, and then we'll play the rest of this video. We're in. I've been saying this for a while. It's ad negotiating season. The season is basically ended. It's like the end of the year for contracts because there's something called upfronts where they sell a bunch of ads upfront. And so negotiations are all basically over. And we're finalizing some contracts and things like this. But let me just tell you, man, all of these companies have said it outright. Facebook's dead. It's dead. And I've talked to these companies and I said, we also have, here's our Facebook offering. We've talked to these companies and said, look, we got tremendous upside in that we don't actually use Facebook. And they laughed and they're like, nobody does anymore. It's a dead platform. Zuckerberg burned it to the ground. They're not saying it like that. They're just saying you can't make money on Facebook because the machine will remove your posts and then you get banned and you get demonetized. What's the point? I find it really funny that the U.S. government goes Zuckerberg and they say, drop to your knees, kiss the pinky ring. Zuckerberg says, sure, and burns Facebook to the ground. What a moron.
Especially in the U.S. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. The problem is that the filters make mistakes, and they take down a lot of content that they shouldn't. So by dialing them back, we're going to dramatically reduce the amount of censorship on our platforms. We're also going to tune our content filters to require much higher confidence before taking down content. The reality is that this is a trade-off. It means we're going to catch less bad stuff, but we'll also reduce the number of innocent people's posts and accounts that we accidentally take down. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
That's fun.
As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams. Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more.
I just want to pause here and say, based AF. And I don't think it's a move by Zuckerberg. I think it's a move by Trump. Zuckerberg was going to mention that all these laws are popping up in secret courts. Donald Trump is going to use the weight of U.S. power to force these countries to heal. And I'm here for it.
The U.S. has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the U.S. government.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the U.S. government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further.
And that's where we get the bombshell. Zuckerberg basically admitting, along what we've known, The U.S. government was forcing them to censor. Now, by all means, Zuckerberg could have went the Elon route and said, try me. And, I have very little respect for this. Mark, it's very weak. Okay? I don't trust you. I think it's smarmy. It's very weak. When the first adpocalypse happened on YouTube, this is like 2018 or something. And for those not familiar, it's basically all the advertisers started coming out saying, we're not going to advertise on YouTube because you have extremist content. And it was BS. Wall Street Journal, New York Times, I believe it was kicked off by the Wall Street Journal, started claiming that YouTube was a hub for extremism and scared advertisers. So YouTube went to advertisers and said, please don't pull your ad dollars. What must we do? And thus came demonetization and censorship of many innocent entrepreneurs who did nothing wrong. I certainly posted no extremist content. Why did I lose money? Well, YouTube would have you believe, I'm sorry, the advertisers were pulling their money and there's nothing we can do about it. You know what? I'm sick of this culture of cowards because, homie, you want to go to war, I will give you a war. You guys watching Landman? What a great show. Spoilers for those that haven't watched it. But basically, there's a lawyer, and she is nasty. And she basically goes to a character, and she says, effectively, I'm going to frame you for murder. If you don't, back the F off and let me get my settlement. And the dude, I was so satisfied to see this, walks in and says, double the offer, or double how much you're paying us, you're going to war. I'm like, let me tell you the kind of person I am. Someone comes to me with a smile on their face and says, you're going to do what I want or else. I'll be like, I'll take the or else. I am going to burn you to the ground if you go to war with me. You will regret it. And so when I see the adpocalypse on YouTube, I told this to Google. I told this to my rep, not that they're high enough to do anything. I said, why don't you tell this advertiser, if you pull your dollars, we will offer a promotion to your chief competitor, giving them half off and the masthead. We will double their reach overnight on the most prominent platform, and you will lose 20% of your market share overnight. Play me. They don't do it because they're cowards. So when Zuckerberg is faced with this pressure, he says, I'll censor all the conservatives, only digging himself deeper. Because when Biden and the Democrats end up winning, they bend you over and whip you again. Elon Musk, what did he say? He said, try me. And they sent the SEC, the FTC, they tried to burn him down. They blocked his Tesla pay package. I know it was a judge in Delaware, but come on. You think I'm going to believe that this wasn't political gamesmanship? This wasn't lawfare against them? So I respect Elon for this. I do not respect Mark Zuckerberg at all. I'll give him a little bit. Turning it around now is the right move. But he's only doing it because Trump's in power. And once again, the little boy is scared. I got no respect for Mark Zuckerberg. Again, I'll say a little bit for doing the right thing now. But he's only doing it because Trump gets in power and says, you lose on your knee. It's scumbaggery. Okay. When the federal government came to Facebook, Zuckerberg should have said, here's what we're going to do. You come at me with your strong arm tactics, and we will overnight make sure Democrats never win an election again. Try me. And instead, he said, I'll do anything you say.
But now we have the opportunity to restore free expression, and I am excited to take it. It'll take time to get this right, and these are complex systems. They're never going to be perfect. There's also a lot of illegal stuff that we still need to work very hard to remove. But the bottom line is that after years of having our content moderation work focus primarily on removing content, it is time to focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our systems, and getting back to our roots about giving people voice. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. Stay good out there, and more to come soon.
Indeed. Well, I do think we're seeing some good stuff. I got to be honest. And I think a lot of what we're seeing is, I'll be real, UFC's become massively popular. I think Mark Zuckerberg he became a fan of UFC. I believe he's been training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I mean this seriously. His testosterone has probably been going up, and he's probably found a pair. I got to ask, bringing Dana White on helps ensure that in the future, you don't have these problems because someone like Dana White ain't going to play games. I love UFC, man, because, these UFC fighters, many of them are based. And then you ask yourself, why are so many UFC fighters pro-Trump? Why are they based? Because they're not scared of you. There's very little to be scared of when you get punched in the head for a living. Largely because maybe you have CTE and you don't know to be scared. I'm kidding, guys. Or because you're carved out of stone and you're like, ain't nothing you can do to me. That's the thing about strong men. They don't move. When they know what must be, when they know what is right, they say, try me. Because these guys face down a brutal beating in the ring for a living. And you get a lot of these people, these old Zuckerberg types, you look like Data from Star Trek. And he's just like, well, okay, I guess I'll do what you say. Now, homeboy probably became a fan, started training. Look at him. His skin looks better. His hair looks better. And now all of a sudden he's coming around on free speech. I got to be honest. I think the dude found some testosterone. They say working out makes you right wing, only because right wing is anything the left isn't. And if you actually exercise and you're a man and you build muscle mass, you might find with high testosterone that, it's really fascinating. They say guys are less agreeable. Now, let me tell you something about dudes. There are the pathetic low T men who are just like, I'm going to say whatever I'm supposed to say to fit in. Yeah. Now, they say that high T guys and strong guys are not agreeable, but no. It's sort of true, but let me tell you this. I was talking to some friends a while ago about how men interact. And I say, we play video games, right? We're playing Division. Remember Division and Division 2? Fun game. I don't know what they're doing anymore. I haven't played that in years. But me and the homies, we're playing it. And there's no fighting over being king or anything like that. It's literally like, what are you guys thinking? We're going to do this run. We're going to go to Lincoln Center in this mission. And this is what we're going to do. And any one of our friends who is like, I'll tell, like, they would basically say, hey, we're going to go in, you go left. Tim, you use these weapons to go after these guys. We'll stand back here. There's no arguments. You got it. They would do these raids. It's a fun game, by the way. It had its problems, but it was basically like one person would just assume charge and nobody questioned it. We didn't look at each other like, how dare you boss me around? One guy would be like, hey, I've done this a million times. Go left, I'll go right. You use the M1, I'll use this. We bet you got it. It's like, hey, Tim, switch to this weapon because we need someone up top. Like, yep. We just work together. And it's because we trust each other. And I find it fascinating. Like, when men organize and are strong, it's not a question of I should be in charge, I'm better than you. That's actually weakness. A strong guy doesn't, this is the thing about the military. They take orders. But you're going to tell me that these veterans are all weak-willed? No. These guys in combat know why they trust their chain of command. I'm not saying everybody's perfect. You do have weak guys. You do have ego problems and you do have brain damage and all that stuff. But I'm saying in general, guys know that we are working together. I'm not trying to disparage women. I'm just saying, like, when guys organize. So what I see with these UFC fighters, they know what's right. They know what's true. And it's not about falling in line or being disagreeable or rejecting things. It's about knowing what's true and standing for what's true. That's why I like UFC. Guys who get punched in the face for a living, strong as steel. Dana White joining the head of Meta, I'm all for it. So let's see some good stuff finally happen. How about that? Now, what I'm really excited for moving forward is that with Donald Trump in government and Cash and many other people, I know a lot of these people. I want to see Trump bring these other countries to heel. I want to see that. I don't want war. I don't want U.S. military intervention. We just need strength. We need economic strength, diplomatic strength. And Trump's going to say to these countries, it's real simple, baby. Look what Trump just did to Trudeau. He says, I'm going to tariff your country. And the dude resigns. Oh, I love it. Now you got this grooming scandal in the UK, which has been going on for decades, and they covered it up to protect multiculturalism. I think Trump should put tariffs and sanctions on the UK until all those people who covered it up are in jail or at least removed from power, whatever. Bring these corrupt nations to heel. Let's bring back strength, free expression. I'm all for it. Smash that like button, my friends. Become a member over at Timcast.com. We had an uncensored show talking about the grooming scandal in the UK, and it's fairly brutal stuff, man. Some of the stuff, I think I'm gonna do a segment about it, but You can't even talk about some of these things because they're so horrifying and graphic. And it's not a question of YouTube censorship. No, it's a question of we don't want kids to hear these things, man. It's rough. It's brutal stuff. It's very, very brutal stuff. And I am livid. But we've known about it. Thanks to the likes of people like Tommy Robinson. And he gets defamed. He gets imprisoned when he tries calling this out. Join us at timcast.com. Stick around. More segments to come. Next one's at noon, and we'll see you all then.